Hi, this is Miss Wright, and I am going to go over the words for list 1 of Great Expectations. Okay, the first word that we have here is abhorrence. Abhorrence is a dislike, a hatred, or disgust. So, an abhorrence, you might have an abhorrence towards broccoli. You might have an abhorrence of violence, of violent games. It's anything that you feel very strongly against. You might categorize as having an abhorrence towards. Apparition is an illusion or a ghost. Because we're reading Great Expectations, Dickens kind of made this a hodgepodge of several different forms of literature. So you have Gothic elements in it, and we do have a few mysterious sightings of apparitions. So apparitions are illusions or ghosts. Apprehension is anxiety or fear. I might have apprehension if I'm nervous about taking a test I didn't prepare for, going on a date for the first time, and I'm not sure that I want to go. Anything that causes you extreme anxiety or fear can be described as giving you apprehension, or you're feeling apprehensive towards it. Approbation, approval, a favorable opinion about something or somebody. So an approbation would be you feel positive towards a class, you feel positive towards an individual. Think of the word approval and approbation similar, are similar as they begin, APPRO. So that's kind of a memory device for your quiz. Asunder, part, apart from each other, to separate parts, pieces, or places. So asunder, think of tearing a sheet of paper into two separate parts. You have torn it asunder. Or if you divide something in many parts and separate them, you have divided them asunder. Auspicious is marked by success, grand. I usually think of it in this part as lucky, a sign of something good to come. Kind of the opposite of ominous would be auspicious. It's something that's lucky, favorable, um, marked by good luck. So, an auspicious sign for my day would be that I found $5 on the way to work. That's good luck. Okay. Capricious is whimsical, tendency to make sudden, unexpected changes. A capricious person changes his or her mind without notice, without provocation. They flit from one thing to another. They seem to have a hard time focusing on one aspect of something. So a capricious person is very changeable, very flighty. Coercion is force or compel, the use of force or threats to make somebody do something against his or her will. So you might often hear this in a crime drama. Somebody is abducted and made to say something under coercion, maybe made to ask for ransom under coercion, or do something, rob a bank under coercion. So when people are forced to do things against their will, we say the word coercion, or we say that they have been coerced into doing something. Connubial, relating to marriage. So we often hear the expression connubial bliss, meaning happy marriage, although connubial isn't always blissful. So anything that's of or relating to marriage might be described as connubial. Consorted is associated, to associate with or spend time in the company of somebody undesirable. So you think about maybe some gang members are consorting as they plot to commit a crime or sell drugs. People who shouldn't be hanging out with each other after school are consorting in front of the building, or consorting and running around the school causing a problem. This word is going to come back to us when we read Romeo and Juliet, so hold on to it. Contemptible is despised. Behavior that's worthy to be despised, like um, being cruel to animals is contemptible. Being rude to elderly people is contemptible. Being a liar, a phony, a fake, or a fraud are all contemptible. Discomfited, it means embarrassed or made uneasy. And to be discomfited, it's really a word from the past. You don't hear it that much these days, but it just means to be in a situation where you don't feel quite comfortable. Maybe someone is being too familiar with you. The girl went to the party and was discomfited when a young man wouldn't stop trying to hit on her. Disconsolately, half-heartedly. It can also mean miserable or disappointed and unable to be cheered up. So someone who is disconsolately, the word consolation is in there, but it means not being able to be consoled, not being able to be brightened or made happy. Exonerate is to acquit or free from blame. We had a play a few years ago called the Exoneration Project, where people who were sent to jail 20, 30 years ago were exonerated based on DNA evidence that didn't exist at the time. DNA testing didn't exist at the time, and they were able to go back to the evidence and prove that these people had served decades in jail for no reason, because they were not the individual at the scene of the crime. So exonerate is to acquit, to free from blame. Imprecation is a curse, and it's not like a curse like a witch might put a curse on you. It's a curse like profanity, using inappropriate language. So when my dad stubbed his toe, I heard a series of imprecations come out of his mouth that I had never heard before. The convict in the graveyard used imprecations as he was speaking to Pip and trying to coerce him to bring food and a file. The next word is mortifying, which means humiliating. Think of something that is just ultimately embarrassing. You might be mortified if you find out that maybe you're walking around with toilet paper on the bottom of your shoe, or you thought you were all covered up, and you find out you're somehow exposed when you're not supposed to be exposed. That would be mortifying for a girl. Okay? Someone says something in a classroom that you find very embarrassing. You might feel mortified. Patronize is one of those words that has more than one meaning, but two of the meanings are almost opposite. So it means to condescend, which is to treat someone as if he or she were less intelligent or knowledgeable than yourself. And that's negative, to talk down to people as though they are not intelligent or not as smart as you. But it can also mean to be a regular customer of a store. So if you patronize a store, that's usually seen as something good, and um, it's something positive. So patronize can be both positive and negative. Penitent, sorry, feeling and expressing shame. If it has a religious context, that when one feels remorse for his or her sins, one may do a penance, I believe, in the Catholic Church. But it can have a more general meaning in that anytime you do something that you regret, you feel penitent. And you may often do something to make up for the wrong you've done, whether large or small. So you might write a note of apology, you might send a gift, you might do something, try to be helpful, do something. Um, if your mother's trying to get you to do something and then you yell at her or snap at her and you feel badly afterwards, you might go and apologize to her. You might try to be extra nice and wash the dishes, take out the garbage. So then you're being penitent. Placid means calm and composed. I always think of Lake Placid because it's supposed to be a very peaceful place. So placid is the state of feeling calm, composed, or an environment that's calming and soothing. I have to hurry up. Presentiment is foreshadowing, an awareness of some event, especially an unpleasant event, before it takes place. So it's a sense of something to come. It could be good, it could be bad, but a presentiment is a feeling of something to come. All right? Oh, ravenously, greedily, hungrily. So I ate my dinner ravenously because I hadn't eaten for 8 hours, extremely hungry. And remonstrance is a protest, a formal protest, usually in the form of a document or petition. So a remonstrance would be objecting to something that's going on in society or even in your home. And reticence is silence or uncommunicativeness. People often get this confused with reluctance, and it doesn't mean reluctance. It simply means not speaking, not verbally engaging with others. Um, if you're stopped by the police, it's often best to be reticent and not and wait for your attorney to arrive. Okay, so these are your words for list one. Uh, Remember, you can also go to Quizlet and look up my list, and you will be able to work with the words on Quizlet in addition to your vocabulary worksheets and puzzles. Okay? Hope this is helpful. Remember to subscribe and keep on studying. See you soon. Bye bye.